Hi everyone, I'm Nguyệt Thanh from Team for the Presentation Hub, and today we are going to tell you about one of the oldest, biggest traditional festivals in Vietnam, and it also has the widest popular range, which is Tết holiday. Okay, our presentation is divided into 4 parts: the origins of the ceremony known as Tết, Tết in the north of Vietnam after 1975, the hidden gems in Tết of the past and life story, and the last one is Tết now and then. Okay, I will start with some general information about traditional Tết. And as you know, Tết or Lunar New Year is the most important holiday of the year for Vietnamese people, taking place from the 28th of December to the 3rd of January based on the lunar calendar. And if it includes weekends, the day of this holiday range from 7 to 10 and is usually in late January and early February on the Western calendar. Okay, now we will move on to the main events in Tết. Firstly, we have the 15th of December on the lunar calendar. It is the last jam of the old year. Next, we have the 23rd of December on the lunar calendar. It is the Ông Công Ông Táo celebration. And the last one, we have New Year's Eve, and all the family members can reunite at the Lunar New Year's Eve parties. Let's move to some examples of traditional practices. About the first 3 days, Vietnamese people have a custom of wishing everyone a Happy New Year. Young kids will wish Happy New Year to their grandparents and parents. Adults often congratulate children and give them lucky money. Next to the Song Đất, Vietnamese people believe that the one on step into their house on the first day of Lunar New Year will be the one who brings good luck or bad luck to them throughout the year.
Now that you've known the basic, we'd like to take you on a trip with us to the northern part of Vietnam in the springs of 1975. Just like us, everyone was celebrating a very special Tết, the first New Year of independence. It was the first few years after Vietnam successfully united its 2 regions, granting the Vietnamese people a new state of being, the state of freedom. This brings out both hope and fear, setting northern Vietnam free from the grasp of American military, mourning many great tragedies and injustices while facing the challenges of self-governing the now unstable economy. This leads to several consequences like applying meal tickets systems, distributing of goods being heavily restricted, cost of labor were equated to food and materials rather than money. Under these harsh conditions, while the nation struggled to grow and flourish to where it is today, people truly found the value in family, tradition, and the human connection, which many of whom in the older generation still reminisce of today. As to the cuisine you can find during Tết, Cỗ Tết, a very important part of Tết Nguyên Đán, represent everything from traditional practices, diverse use of local produce, to the symbolic meaning behind every dish. Many traditional dishes were created with symbolic element in mind. Xôi gấc, for example, combined the wish of fulfillment of the sticky rice with the color red from the gấc fruit, a sign of good luck. After 1975, these dishes are still kept alive after the name of respecting traditions and often improved just like many other traditional practices.
In the ancient time, Tết is often celebrated thoroughly both in the north and the south of Vietnam, and is an event that pivotal to both religions and culture. But in the period between 1975 and 1986, people simply can't afford to be wasteful, as some even lack the fortune to being able to afford celebrating Tết. Many love street and activities of Tết like eating mứt Tết or buying new clothes, go to shopping, were reduced to lesser compromise. However, our ancestors still adapt and stay determined in keeping treasures values of the Vietnamese Tết and was able to make the most out of our life. The general pictures of what Tết in Hanoi looked like at that time was of course simple and far from lavish, but yet is still so commonly adored. We learn to think of the past about the materials, values, and truly celebrate our loved one. Tết in 1975 will always be remembered with the scenes of people waiting at mậu dịch booth and with the chatters and the laughter of those picking out cherry blossom trees, with the smell of homemade food like bánh chưng or spring rolls. So at that time, come for everyone to gather. And even now, when we look back at recorded footage of the time and photograph, we can still find traces of the values that were preserved throughout the time, and that is the value of the families and the traditions.
Compared to the Tết in the period so previously, Tết in recent years has changed quite a bit. Rather than setting up solar power fireworks, hundreds and gather around center location to watch fireworks display, which are so much more grand and colorful. Rather than simple handmade sweets and cheese sold by vendors, kids nowadays they enjoy a better manufactured snake and cheese with beautiful packaging. Instead of making for the final meal of the year at home, family can try to order take-out or dinner out. Alongside traditional activity, there are now plenty of new ways for people to celebrate days, such as going on vacation, going to tourist hotspots to take pictures, or staying indoors watching to collect. Program network have to offer other form of entertainment for a kid has also emerged, slowly replacing the kite, the clay bring a dream, and other are good. Some good argue their new material change face out the traditional way of life, but created light to upgrade. There's still many elements that were present. One of which in itself is a celebration of Tết, and even if some traditional feel out of practice as time go by, it's only matter that the core writer behind them serves the Tết time. But me and you take pride at Vietnamese to protect and preserve traditional and honoring the lesson from our father before. It is not the matter that matters, but the bond we have.